Hey everyone, welcome to another of our rocket writing stories as we prepare for our Entrepreneur Secrets annual writing challenge, right? I don't know how many of you will be joining me today, but I'm excited because I have with me Leostone Morrison, a true rocket writer, and he was on the very first challenge. Last week you met Raquel, you heard my story, and this week is Leostone Morrison, and he'll be sharing his story. He's truly a rocket writer. So I'm just going to check in the group to see what's happening and who is joining and all of that jazz. Just give you a few more moments to join us because we're going to have our Q&A session. And of course, you can watch the replay and share it with others. All right. So, Leostone Morrison, you are truly a rocket writer. You tell me that you have written 8 books since November 2018, written and published, and you have another 2 books that will be coming out before the end of the year. That's amazing. That's the definition of rocket writing. So talk to us. How did this journey begin? Talk to us about the first book, Mind Renewal, why you joined the challenge, and what did you do in writing that first book?
So, good morning, and thank you for having me, Ruth. It's a pleasure being here with you. The first book. So I thought of writing when I applied for a job, and I was not selected, and I felt down. I felt horrible, and I was moping about it for about 2 weeks. And then the Holy Spirit said to me one day, the rejection served the purpose of not having you settled where I don't want you to settle.
Wow.
So I was like, wow, okay. I said, I'm going to write a book on this. And so I started writing a book called Favored with Opposition. I contacted you and asked you, I said, Ruth, what number, how many words make a good size book? And I remember you said 40,000.
Yes.
And you told me about the entrepreneurship writing, the rocket writing, and the 30-day challenge. And I said, okay, I'm going to take on this challenge. I'm going to take on this challenge. And so what I did there, I divided the 40,000 by 30, and I got 1,333 plus. So I know that that was my daily that I needed to write if I'm going to complete the challenge within the 30 days. And so what it did for me was that I was not just a loose person, loosely in my writing. I was intentional. The challenge gave me directive. It gave me purpose. And so there were days when I didn't get to the 1,003. And I said, okay, let's say I did 700. I know that I was now 600 plus short. So the following day now, I knew that I had to put in that because I don't want to drop behind. And so this is one of the things that the challenge did for me, Ruth and friends. It caused me to be intentional in my writing. And so I was now writing daily. And one of the things that Ruth guided me, she said, don't worry about the correctness right now. If it is in order, if it is structured properly, she said, don't stress about that, just write. You know, and that helped me a lot, because if I didn't get that advice from you, Ruth, I would be deleting and starting over. But you said to me, just write. And those 2, just write, is one of the best advice I've ever received. Just write. And that's what I did. I just started writing. I just wrote. And I remember it's like when I was at work, I just wanted to get home to write because I had my 1,300 plus to write. And I had some challenges, Ruth, as I have a big family. And so the children were just all over me. I needed time to focus. And so what I had to do, I had to reschedule my time now, reshuffle. my timing where I said, okay, they go to bed. So I went to bed early. Everybody went to bed early. And then I woke up early when everyone is asleep. So I had to create, I didn't have the luxury of what they call a man cave where I could shut myself away.
Yes.
So I had to create that space for myself. And then there were on weekends when I would leave the house and go and find a quiet place by myself where I could write. And the family, especially my wife, God bless her, she gave me my space to write.
Awesome. So what we're actually hearing are some of the secrets.
Yes.
and we are also kind of saying you have no excuse because you have a big family. Can you tell us how many children, how big is this family? So I can put it in context for those who are thinking, I'm too busy, I can't do this.
Okay, so it's 2 adults and 4 children. And at the time, the babies were 2 and 1 or 3 and 2. So you know they require a lot of attention.
A lot of attention. Yes. I really wanted persons to put that in context and to see that he had a full-time job, he had a family, including young children, and he made the sacrifice and the time, but he was intentional. He had a word count in mind. And since then, because that was the first time we were doing the challenge, I was really trying to decode what I did to see if other authors could do it. And you were the first to actually finish within the challenge. Raquel finished a little later. And you wrote, I think you wrote maybe 50,000 words, and then we had to put it down.
No. It's the other way around. I submitted 40,000. And then when you did your markup, and sent back for me to do the rewrite. I can tell you, I didn't like the rewrite part.
Nobody does. No author does.
And we ended up with 52,000.
Yes.
So when I took your suggestions, took out what was the takeout, and I remember I wanted to take out one particular chapter, and you said, no, that's one of the better chapters.
Yes.
And that was the chapter on suicide. We ended with 52,000 words.
Wow. So you see, you hit on another point that I want persons to get. During the challenge, it is not the finished draft of the book. It is the first draft. We just want you to get the content out of your head and onto paper. And Leostone did pretty good because in the NaNoWriMo challenge, where it's National Novel Writing Month, they say 50,000 words in 30 days. And he wrote 40,000 words. But on our challenge, what we're encouraging you to do is write a small nonfiction book. If it goes beyond the 40,000 words, that's fine. But we're saying between 10 and 30,000 words, because I find that's a sweet spot, and you can get a book of 100 to 150 pages, depending on the size book that you want. But understand what he said. It had to go through a polishing process. But on this challenge, what you're doing is just writing. And I am so proud of Leostone because he went on to translate this book. He has it in Spanish. Yes. And within a year, he went on to publish 3 books. So talk to us about what happened after the challenge. Tell us some of the names of the books you've written and what has happened since then.
Okay, so as you said, we translated it into Spanish, and then we did the book called. So when I was almost finished with this book, I wanted to go back now to complete Favorite Opposition, and one morning the Lord said devotion, and so I said, okay, devotion. So I wrote a 90-day devotional from the Mind Renewal book.
Yes.
And remember when I submitted it to you, you said, Leostone, this is too big. And we were there contemplating how to divide it. And at one point we were thinking of 245 days, and then we decided on, we concluded at 330 days. So we have 330 days Mind Renewal devotionals that comes with assignments, etc., etc. Beautiful. So that would be number 4.
Right.
And then after that, I did Marriage Reconstruction.
Ah.
So I was married before now, and the marriage ended, and so I have a passion for not seeing divorce because of what I went through. I don't want others to go through that, and so I wrote a book on marriage reconstruction. So that would have been the fifth book. Very good book. And
what about crossover? What happened to crossover? Because crossover is when I weaned you.
Yes. Almost sent me into depression. When Ruth said, Leostone, I have to wean you now. I have to wean you now. Crossover just published about 2 months ago.
Awesome.
2 months ago. And the review so far on crossover is excellent. Right now, persons are asking me to do an online course from crossover.
Awesome. And you also have an online course from Mind Renewal.
Yes. So I have an online course. I have an online course from Mind Renewal, and it's going well. And we have a batch of students right now that you know, the testimonies that are coming from that course is just simply God, just God.
Awesome.
Just God.
And where can we find your books and your course? Is there do you have a home base online where we can access the courses and the books? Talk to us. Where can we find you and access these rocket writing books?
All right. All of them are on Amazon, and there are some in Jamaica. There are some en route. The latest book is en route to Jamaica now, Marital Intimacy. As I said, I have a passion for marriage. And in this one, I am sharing about how to really be a couple, to be intimate, not just sexually, well, not just penile penetration, as most persons think that intimacy is, but, you know, just walking and holding hands, just talking, laughing, watching a movie together, you know. And so those are on the way to Jamaica, but I'm in the process of preparing a website where everything can be accessed right there. But in the meantime, persons can just reach out to me on Facebook or on Instagram, and I will definitely get your copies to you.
And so your Instagram handle, 1 second, Leo, your Instagram handle is what?
Is Reverend Leostone Morrison.
Reverend Leostone Morrison. Okay.
And Facebook is just Leostone Morrison.
Okay. But
or you might see Restoration of the Breach Without Borders.
Ah, nice.
And you know, one of the things that came out of all of this, Ruth, is that, so I have an online ministry that we do, and we have a segment where we call I Wrote a Book About. So we invite authors now to come and share their journey, share about their book. So it's a means of giving them promotion also. You know, and this you know, all started from the 30-day challenge.
Awesome. And you're a true entrepreneur. I'm not seeing anyone joining live, but I know they catch the replay. So you went from writing a book to writing a book in 30 days to publishing, I think, 2 or 3 in a year. Now you are at book number 8. You converted your books to courses, and you also now are offering publishing services. So tell us about that. You can promote that a little bit.
All right. So when Ruth weaned me, I was thrown into mild.
That's
I was thrown into mild depression, and so I said, okay, I need to figure out how I'm going to navigate my way through this difficult period. And so then where I was working at, I worked at social services at the time. We were offering courses to at-risk youths. And one of the courses that was being offered was about formatting and publishing. So I showed it to my wife, and she was like, I'll do this. So she went and she did the course. And so now she does the formatting and publishing. And what we have done now, we have created a one-stop shop. So you come with your idea.
Yes.
There are ghostwriters there. We write it for you. We provide you at a low cost for your ISBN. No, that's the International Standard Book Number. We connect you with book cover designers. We connect you with editors. And when all of that proofreading and then all of that is done, then we format it and publish it.
Awesome. So full circle, full circle.
Full circle.
You're not just a rocket writer, but a true entrepreneur. And so I have one question for you. For those who are on the fence and they're thinking, I can't write a book and 30 days is even too short. I don't think I can do this. What word of advice would you give to them?
I like the Nike sign. It says, just do it. Just do it. Yes. There's a young lady in Jamaica. I won't call her name. She never graduated. She never completed primary school.
Mm.
She is, so reading and writing is a challenge for her. But guess what? She owns and operates a private school.
Ah.
And she employs persons with the degrees from the Michael, the St. Joseph's, etc. So she has very qualified staff that's doing the curriculum, doing the courses, teaching the students, and they have excellent grades, passes. But she herself has her challenges. And so when I look at that account, Ruth, I said, if she can do this with her limitations, what about you?
Awesome, awesome. That's just like what Henry Ford did. Henry Ford wasn't the brightest. He had the ideas and everything. And so he hired a competent team around him who could do the stuff. And so you don't have to be the brightest one in the group. No. With your leadership ability and ability to get people together, you can do this. And it's the same thing with writing a book. You don't have to be a Shakespeare or a Chimamanda Adichie or any of those brilliant person. You just need the ideas and then get a team to organize that, to edit it. Don't worry about the language. They will clean that up. And once you have a good publishing team, they will take your ideas and turn it into a beautiful manuscript. Right. So, I mean, I'm really proud of you. Just any closing words as we end this rocket writing story?
My closing words. If Ruth tried to win you, refuse the win. Be like Ruth and Naomi. Say, I am not leaving you. You know, we pray and we say, God send destiny helpers. And Ruth, God placed her, positioned her in my life. And I have not been the perfect friend to Ruth. I recently, the Lord reminded me of a promise that I made to her. And I said, okay, God, it's about 2-3 years. I'm going to honor that promise. I still remember, God reminded me recently because God is serious when it comes on to vows. But, you know, Ruth, when we were doing the rewrite, she sent words like awkward, removed, irrelevant, not necessary. And those words pierced me. But I am glad that she was bluntly honest, because today the amount of lives that this book, Mind Renewal, has impacted.
Yes.
If Ruth is going to be doing your editing, you know, or she recommends others, and you do your rewrites, just take the advice, take the suggestions, and just do it. Do the challenge. Be committed. Make your time. Can you know what time works best for you? If you're a morning person, you're an evening person, just do it. It will be worth it. The books right now are reaching places that I've never been to. And lives are being affected, impacted. You can do the same. You can do. Let God use you. Those are my few words. Just do it. No more delays. Just do it.
All right. Thank you so much, Leostone. It has been a pleasure, and we'll put the link to where people can find Mind Renewal and your other books. So thank you very much for sharing your story.